Okay, how are we doing today? It's a pleasure having us here. And it's about 10 minutes before the news, 10 minutes before the news that we have coming out. We have a very key and important news coming out in a bit. And of course, that is for the US dollar, the unemployment claims. And that is something that we need to be aware of, as it tends to bring in fresh volatility. So if you're joining us for the first time, my name is Tolu of CSA Forex. And of course, we talk about the Forex market, how to trade it, and of course, how to make some pips from it. So we are in some trades now at the moment, and the trades that we're in, right, they are based on counter trend moves. We're going to talk a bit about them. And if you have any instrument whatsoever that you want us to also have a look at, just let us know. Mention the instrument and we'll look at them together. Okay, so from what we have right in front of us, right, if you look very well, today is what? Thursday, January 18th, and then this is 2:30 p.m. West African time. You can see the countdown is already here for this news, the unemployment claims, and it is high impact. So that means that we should have some volatility, right? Some good movements in the market for the US dollar pairs. And of course, we look at the major currency pairs, right? We look at the likes of the Euro USD, Pound USD, AED USD, NZD USD, USD Swiss, USD JPY, USD CAD, and of course gold, because gold is also heavily affected by the dollar, right? And of course, always ensure that you check on the news for the next day, and you can see the news for the next day. High impact news that is, we have for the pounds and then the USD. But for now, in the next about 6.5 minutes, approximately 7 minutes, the news is going to come out now, and then the USD is going to react. So speaking of the USD, let us go back to the charts. Now let's switch to the charts and see what we have on the charts, right? So immediately you can see the US dollar in front of us, right? So as you can see the US dollar in front of us, you will be able to see what the dollar is doing, right? You're going to see what the dollar is doing at the moment. And if you look very well, for this week, the dollar has been, pushing higher and higher. And of course, for a while now, you can see the chart in front of you. It has been an uptrend. But for this week, the dollar has pushed higher and higher. And of course, we talked about this rising wedge pattern that we had. You can see that from here, price acted accordingly and then dropped. It dropped very close to this area here of what? To this area of former resistance, we should now turn to support. And then look at it seems to be pushing higher, right? But it's pushing higher. It also seems to be forming a sort of wedge. And this is just before the news at 6. Now, at 6 minutes, from 6 minutes time. Now, two things could happen. Based on this wedge, it could tank heavily, right? Or it could push it back to the highs over here, right? Of course, I would like you to tank heavily and even break this area and then drop further down, because this, which was former resistance, as you can see, resistance, 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 is yet to act as support. I repeat, it is yet to act as support. So that means that the pending orders over here, that means that the pending orders over here are rather heavy. You have a lot of people that have their buy limits over here. I don't know whether you are one of them, but we obviously have a lot of people that have their buy limit pending orders here, waiting for price to come here for them to get triggered and then push higher, right? This is what we have over here based on this US dollar, right? And you can see in the next 5 minutes. Now, we need to be paying close attention. I repeat, we need to pay close attention as the news is just around the corner, right? So if you guys are here, you could also let us know where you are connecting to us from, right? And also let us know what instruments you are looking at. Are you looking at any instrument that has to do with the US dollar? Are you in any trade at the moment? Let us know what situation you are in now. How has your week been as well, right? How has your trading week been as well? But of course, today is Thursday, and the week will be running out within the next approximately like 36 hours thereabout. After tomorrow, the market is going to close for the week, right? So once again, this is the US dollar that we have in front of us. And this US dollar, based on the actions of this US dollar, we're able to get a CT trade, counter trend move. And of course, we were able to tidy up a bit on them. So I'm going to show you the trades that I'm in now within the next 4 minutes that we'll watch the news together. It's actually going to be exciting for me. I don't know about you. It's going to be exciting because I would like to see the news and the outcome of the news to see whether this dollar is going to drop the more, right? Or whether the dollar is going to just go back to the highs over here. So this is what we're looking at over here. And from here, we're expecting it to drop. So let's see how this goes. So for the Euro USD, you can see as it dropped, we're able to take a long position, a buy position on Euro USD. And this is where we are now. It's more or less hit this area here. It more or less hit this area here of support, which acted as resistance and seemed to act as resistance, and it has pulled back close to our entry. And of course, my stop loss was much lower. But when it got to this point here, I knew there was a possibility that it might hit this and then come back. And then I said to tighten up my stop loss here. It might even be too tight. One thing I always tell traders that look, there are bound to be losses, but you need to know how to manage your trades appropriately. I just give a little buffer, just a little buffer, because who knows, it might just shoot higher from here. So as I'm giving it a little buffer, even if it's a loss, I'll accept it. I repeat, if it is a loss, I will accept it. And that is what trading is all about. It's all about being able to accept your trades, whether it's a winner or it's a loser, whatever the case might be, right? So we are waiting for the news, and it's roughly 2 more minutes, and we're going to see what is going to happen. Is it going to push higher? Is it going to reverse and then shoot higher? Who knows? Only time will tell. Now, before that happens, we're going to do something now. Let me just clean this one up because we have roughly 1 minute for this market to react. We also got a trade here on gold, right? We have 2 positions on gold. You can see that also got into this point here. And this one, we can easily make the adjustment just in case it comes back down, right? You can make the adjustment here. And then we had another one on the dollar JPY. You can see the dollar JPY too. So we have a few positions here. And then we're just waiting for the news to come out. So whatever the outcome is, accept it and move on. If it's a loss, it's a loss. If it's a winner, it's a winner. Now you can see that we have the news coming out in less than 1 minute. We're going to wait for the reaction here. In less than 1 minute, we have the news coming out. And one thing we need to note is that whipsaws could occur. You could push higher, could push lower, but then it must be calculated risk. I repeat, it must be calculated risk. And we have about 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Let's see what the market does. It pushes higher, it's over. We are done for the week. It pushes lower, it's over. We're also done for the week. Either way, it has been a good week, right? So let's see. It seems to be trying to push higher. Let's see what the market decides to do. I'm not going to leave it here, or rather, let's switch quickly. Let's switch quickly to the news and see what it is. Okay, so it's saying pending, flashing pending. Let me just refresh this and see what it gave us. Okay, it's green. So the US dollar should appreciate. So if it's going to appreciate, if it's going to push higher, He was going to push higher, then I can as well tidy up. Let me just go to my live account and then tidy up and tighten up my positions more. Because you can see over here, it's going to go much higher over here. So just a second. I just need to tidy that up. Okay. So I seem to have tidied that up. Okay. So it seems that the US dollar, right, is still going to push much higher based on the news. But at the same time, we always say that it is due for a pullback, right? We always say that the market is due for a pullback. And of course, let's see what happens in this area. You can see the market is not looking that explosive for now, right? It seems to be struggling to push higher, but then we have it based on the US dollar, we have it maybe hitting these highs over here. Sorry, my hand is not that straight. Well, let me see how straight it can be. We have it probably hitting the highs here and dropping, or it might still respect this area here, or it might still respect this area here of what? This area here of the wedge and then drop. So let's see how it plays out. And then guys, if you have any question, feel free to ask. Your trading should be spot on. Don't waste time. Do what you have to do. I repeat, don't waste time. Do what you have to do. Trade management is very key. Don't second guess yourself, right? If it's going to be a winner, it's going to be a winner. If it's going to be a loser, then it's a loser. It's a loss, right? Just always make sure that you calculated your risk appropriately. Risk management is very, very important in the market. I repeat, risk management is very, very important in the market. I see some people here from Malaysia, from Bahrain, and so on. Okay, that's good. And some of us seem to be new to the business of trading. If you are new, right, I would always advise that you get to learn the basics, how to work the MT4, the trading application, how to analyze the market, fundamentals, technicals, and of course, risk management, very key. Risk management and trade management, right? Very, very key, very, very important, right? Because what we do here is live market analysis where we look at the market and then try to understand what the market wants to do and how we can take advantage of the market. It's all about trying to take advantage of the market. That's what we try to do here. We try to take advantage of the market so that we can make pips. And once we can make pips, then of course we can make money because pips is equals to money at the end of the day, right? Great. So you can see the market is still reacting. You would always wonder, why is it reacting in this manner, right? Because when you look at price, price tends to move in patterns. There are ways that price moves that will let you know that, okay, I just saw something again. Let me clean up this one and then show you something I just saw. At times when you look at your charts, I repeat, at times when you look at your charts, you might not see it initially until you look harder and harder, and then you might see something much better. Now look at this very well, and this is in two parts. We have this here as left shoulder. I'm sure you guys now know what I'm talking about, the head and shoulders pattern. So let's see whether it works out. Here as left shoulder, here as head, and you can see it has gotten back to the left shoulder. So this is the right shoulder. But then also we have a pattern known as the Quasimodo. Quasimodo pattern is very similar to the head and shoulders, at least to my understanding. It's very similar to the head and shoulders pattern. But the only giveaway now is that when you have this low, Quasimodo is a high, a low, a higher high, and then a lower low over here, right? So this lower low, because price bar here went below this one. So this has made it more of a QM Quasimodo. So you might hear some traders talk about the QM pattern. This is the QM pattern right in front of us. Quasimodo, and you can see it is reacting to this. So this Quasimodo, very much similar to the head and shoulders, H and S, head and shoulders pattern. You can see it has reacted here. You can call this the right shoulder, or you can call this the QM. And then now, because of this pattern I saw, you can easily, give us more confidence, and you can see it is reacting to it, that will give us more confidence and now actually push much lower. Another thing now is for like trend line traders. If you use trend lines, you can easily have a trend line in this manner, right? And then maybe you're waiting for this, trend line to break out. If that happens, you can break out, pull back there, and then drop further down. Who knows? Another clue you need to understand is that today is Thursday. And it's very close to the end of the week, right? Most times I don't like to work with information from, previous week. I like as it is fresh and hot. Some people don't eat food if it has been in the fridge. They eat it while it is hot. For this business, I prefer while the information is nice and hot. Excuse me, I prefer when the information is nice and hot. And you can see we're still keeping an eye on this dollar, and we're waiting to see what the final outcome will be over here. So another thing now is that you have to wait for the candle to close before you can conclude that it is what it is going to push higher to the highs of this week, or you have to wait for the candle to close to see whether it's going to stall, because it might also stall in this area, move sideways, or whether it's just going to drop. But one thing I can tell you is that as we have been looking at the news after about 7 minutes that has been released, it is not looking too heavy. It's not looking all that explosive, probably because the market has already been bullish for a long time, right? So people are expecting a reversal. So we'll wait and see what happens over here, right? And then before we round up for today's session, if you have any question, feel free to ask. Before we round up for today's session, if you have any question, feel free to ask. I'm so sorry, my voice has been a bit rough this morning, right? And when I say this morning, for me, it's just after 5 a.m. here. It's just very early in the morning after 5 a.m., right? So some of you might be like 2:37 for West African time or 1:37 UK time, and the rest and so on. And of course, it is more or less just the start of New York session. So New York should be about 8:38 a.m., right? New York should be about 8:38 a.m. And New York session just started about 38 minutes ago, about half an hour ago, right? And that's why the news that we're looking at now, based on this, you can see the dollar is still there. Let's see what happens over here, right? So guys, you can do a screenshot and pay attention. Will it push higher back to the highs of this week, or will it still respect this place and then drop further down? That is the question, right? Unfortunately, we will not be here tomorrow, right? But if you navigate to the YouTube channel, right, we have a YouTube channel where we have started a series, and the series is titled What's Happening in the Forex Market Today, or more or less like what's happening in the Forex market, right? What's happening today. So that YouTube channel that we've started series, and so far so good. Like on a daily, we have been what? We have been posting happenings, and of course our expectations for us to make pips. So if you do follow us there, speaking of following us there, I'm just gonna post the link for those on the Trading Live section. Guys, if you have any question, feel free to ask before we round up now. If you have any question, ask before we round up now. I'm also streaming on the YouTube section. For those on the YouTube section, the YouTube Live, you already have the link, so you can just hit the subscribe button. And then when we have the what's happening in the Forex market today video, the series for tomorrow, once it is posted, you can have a look and see what the outcome was of this particular dollar that we're still looking out for. But unfortunately, we can't be here and wait for the market to do its thing to the end, right? So we want to say thank you, and thank you for joining us, right? I can't see any question coming in from anybody, right? Based on the YouTube Live and also on the Trading Live section as well. Okay, so no problem. With that said, it has been a good week. If you watch the videos, the recordings from earlier this week, from Monday all the way to Thursday, you can see that we're able to catch some pips, especially for gold that fell heavily, for Euro USD that fell heavily, even the Pound USD, we also got that one, and a few others as well. This has been a decent week, right? The account is growing, and that's what matters. And of course, it's all about the result. If you're having results, great. And if you're not having results, you can always reach out and let's discuss your trading as well. So now we say thank you for joining us, right? Pay attention to the market, use your proper stop loss, use your volume lot size based on your account balance, which is known as proper risk management. Okay, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day and goodbye for now. Cheers.